Alright, here we go. Hey guys, welcome to Scoof Codes. I'm Scoof, and this is a channel where I'm going to be doing some live coding. I don't know who's in the chat right. Well, no, I do know who's in the chat right now, but if you're just joining me, I'm going to be doing some JavaScript tonight. And so I've got up here, I've written a little preview or some notes on what I'm going to be working on this evening. And so the plan is I have signed up for an account with this service called Streamlabs, which does some cool Twitch overlay stuff. Basically gives you metrics and gives you little widgets that you can embed in a Twitch stream. So I think you can see, in theory, if this is working, in the bottom right hand corner you should be able to see there's a view account there. It's probably quite low at the moment, but that's okay. And that's coming from Streamlabs. That's using, that's basically they will serve up an HTTP endpoint that you can hit, and you can style it using a bit of CSS and HTML, and it'll give you a view of your viewers. And so they offer that for a few different things. What unfortunately they don't offer is a bunch of their a bunch of useful things, in particular the followers, the latest follower and the follower counts. They offer this little application, I assume, that will grab that data and stick it into a text file, and then you can use OBS, the Open Broadcast Software, which is a popular tool for broadcasting Twitch, which is what I'm using. You can use that to stick that data onto your feed, onto your stream. The problem is, and I say I assume it's a desktop application because it's unavailable for Linux, and since I use Linux, obviously I can't use it. So the goal for this evening is to basically sidestep that and instead write a little service that's going to hit the Twitch API and that's going to grab that information, so the follower count, I think, and the latest follower. It's going to stick them in a text file, and then at that point I've basically done exactly what this Streamlabs application does, and I can then hopefully inject them into my stream, and we'll be able to see. So that's the goal for this evening. I'm not sure how far I'm going to get. I don't tend to time myself doing these sorts of things, so I don't really know how productive I am, but it seems like it's possible that I could get it done if I don't run into any huge roadblocks. So yeah, I guess we'll see how we go. So you can see there I've written up a few little notes there on what I sort of want to do, or oops, there we go, on what I want to accomplish this evening. So I'm going to write this using Node.js. I did sort of think about, am I going to write it using TypeScript, but I thought that was probably overkill because this is probably going to be, thanks Z-Man, hope so. This is probably going to be pretty simple, not a whole lot of code. So TypeScript probably overkill, and I'm not super comfortable with the whole TypeScript ecosystem with the transpilation and setting the config files up. Bit of a TypeScript noob. So I'm just going to write it in vanilla Node.js using whatever ECMAScript features supported in the version of Node that I've got installed. So that's the first thing. I'm hopefully going to use some async await, right? Because we're making API calls and they're ultimately asynchronous. So hopefully I'm going to get to use some of those fancy async await coolness that have been introduced in the more recent versions of Node.js. So that could be fun. The other thing I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and run it in a Docker container. And that's for a few reasons. I'm kind of addicted to putting things in Docker containers lately for a few reasons. Number one, I just want to get better at using Docker and the tooling around it and understanding how it works and its limitations, because it's cool technology and I'm probably going to be using it a whole lot more in the very near future. The other reason is just that, so my idea around how this works is it's basically just going to be sort of like, it's not a binary because it's JavaScript, it's interpreted, but it's just going to be something that you run periodically and it's going to update these text files. And so we're probably going to run that with maybe a cron job or something like that. And so if we stick that in our global cron config, then it's not very self-contained. The thing I like about Docker containers is that it's literally just, you know, Docker compose up or starting a container or something, and then everything is there. And in theory, it should just work, and it's very portable. If my computer blows up, then it should be fine. AnnieXX Live, thank you for tuning in again. I fully agree with you. I actually spent a bit of time today having a look at the Twitch APIs, wrapping my head around them, and what I've got that's different from yesterday is I've actually got a browser that I've kind of sized to the size of my crop for this window, so we can actually hopefully look at those Twitch APIs together and see what they're doing. Z-Man, everyone wants to know why I can't see my face. As I mentioned on the stream yesterday evening, I do own a webcam, and my dear friend Jim has actually borrowed it, and I'm gonna get it back from him when I see him, probably next week. As I was saying last night, I'm aiming to stream on Saturday and Sunday mornings, but because of Orthodox Easter this weekend, I'm not going to be able to because I'm going to be cooking and or eating and or driving. So not this weekend, but hopefully next weekend, and if I stream sort of late next week in the evenings, you will be able to see my lovely face. So yeah, that's why you can't see my face, but hopefully soon. Hopefully right in this bottom corner here, we're going to keep that. We're going to stick a little selfie webcam there. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Cool. So as I said, yeah, we're gonna put it in a docking container. So we're probably gonna mount the file system and chuck some text files in there. We'll see how we go with that. Hopefully we don't run into any weird permission issues. So once we've got it in a text file, then OBS can grab it, and that's a built-in thing into OBS. I might show, if we get far enough, I might show OBS and how that sort of works, but it's pretty straightforward. It's just a few little configuration bits and a little bit of styling to get my sort of font and colors right. And the last thing I've written here is don't hit Twitch API rate limits, because they are rate limited at, I think, 30 times a minute. I think that's what I was reading. So we can't poll that endpoint too often. And if we have other things that we're doing, we may have to sort of cut that down. We'll have to think carefully about how we do that if we start polling other things. Z-Man, spot on. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Gonna go out for lunch. Looking forward to it. Can't wait. Cool. All right. Let's get going. So the Twitch API. I was chatting to a colleague today, and he said this documentation makes absolutely no sense. And you know what? He's not wrong. He's not right, but he's not wrong. He's somewhere in between. This documentation was not the easiest to understand documentation I've ever found. I don't think it's really laid out that well. The other ultra confusing part is that there is a new Twitch API and there is a Twitch API v5. You would have thought this would just be Twitch API v6 or v7. AnnieXX Live, that's a... Z-Man is a colleague of mine. He knows what my face looks like. Yeah. Contrasted, hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining. So, in fact, Contrasted, if I can give you a little bit of a Sorabo, backseat programming. Oh my god, here we go. This is going to be fun. Don't criticize me. Don't think too poorly of me when I fumble my way through this. Right, so Contrasted actually was the colleague in question who said that this was a pretty badly designed API. I don't know if it's a badly designed API. I'm going to talk about that a bit more in a second. But yeah, it's very confusing that they said, well, we got Twitch API v3, we got Twitch API v5, let's just throw that out the window and make a new Twitch API. I suspect because they really changed the design of the API pretty radically. But I guess we'll see. So, what we have to do here is, so there's an endpoint in here called get users follows. And this is a bit of a interesting API. I mean, I can kind of see why they've done this. So what they've done here is, instead of it just being like a straightforward endpoint that just says get my followers with some like standard pagination and cursor stuff, they've actually allowed two query parameters, as you can see here, right? You can do get user follows from a particular ID, so that's the followers of that user ID, and then I think there's follows to user ID, and that's the followers that user ID follows. So you can see up here, this is what really made this make sense to me. Gets information on follow relationship between two Twitch users. Information returned is sorted in order, most recent follow first. You can return information like who is lyric following, or in our case, who is spoof codes following? Who is following spoof codes? That's the one that we want to know. And is spoof codes following AnnieXX Live? He is, right? So that's the data we want to get out here. There's some pagination stuff. We really don't have to worry about most of these extra fields. It's really no hate on the API, just hate on the docs. Yeah, agreed. The docs are bad. The actual API itself is, seems well designed. So that's the endpoint we're going to be hitting. It's this one here, and we're going to do from ID, user ID. So I guess I'm going to have to get my user ID from somewhere. Presumably it's on my Twitch page. Also, do I have Postman installed? That's going to make things a lot easier. Postman. Oh, there it is. Cool. Let me just stick that in the right spot in the window. Good thing I had that bad boy installed already. Cool. Postman. So that's going to make... Ooh, we don't want to update right now. Cool. That's going to make making these requests a lot easier. So I'm just going to use this to test this endpoint and see if we can get the right data back. So request name, let's call this Twitch API follows. Cool. Cool. Let's close those things. We don't really need them anymore. Cool. So our endpoint here is this one. So we're going to copy that in as our request URL. And now what do we need in here? We need our client ID. So this is a client ID that I've got as part of the Twitch API. So I'm gonna I'm probably gonna need to open up that. Yeah, I should have queued that up before. That's okay. I can open that up in a second. Do I need to pop up my little entering secrets page for this? Probably not, given that it's just a client ID. I probably should. Anyway, I'll do that in a second. Yep, we're good with this. Cool. Hope there's nothing to... Oh no, yeah, we're good. Where was in here set... No. Dev.twitch.2. I gotta say, a lot of these, yeah, these switch things kind of jump you around between a bunch of different... Is that what I want? Still figuring... No, I don't. Dashboard? I'm hoping this is the developer dashboard and not the... Oh yeah, there it is. Cool. View app. Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's no real way of getting around showing you my client ID, so I'm gonna do that. Because it's just my client ID, and I guess I can throw it away if I really need to. Yeah, whatever. Cool. Alright, so I've got my little API. I've got my client ID there. And Postman, oh, is Postman crapped itself? That's going to be annoying if that continues to happen. Is it because of something I've... Alright, well, technical difficulties. What fun. Cool. Let's quit. Yeah, alright, let's give it another go. Postman. Cool. Alright, so I've got my client ID for my API. Oh, and look at that. It launched at the correct size. That's good. Cool. Alright, cool. It was already there. Cool. Right, so our header we have to set, according to this documentation, we've got to set a client-ID. I think that's the right capitalization there. Where is my API docker? There it is. Sorabo, yep, we'll see if we can get that. So little context for the people who don't know me, which seems to be most of the people in the chat, but AnnieXX Live, you got no idea. who I am, that is to say. I also have a beer review YouTube channel along with a couple of my other colleagues. And I should put a link to that somewhere. If somebody can rustle up a link and stick it in the chat, that would be awesome. Otherwise, I'll grab one later. Cool. So client ID, yeah, it's a capital I and a capital D. Cool. Client ID, and that's my client ID, and follows, and we're going to need some parameters in here. Now, what is my ID? My user ID. I need to figure that out. Yes, contrasted, thank you. The Postman Chrome app is deprecated. I don't actually think this is the Postman Chrome app. I think this is the standalone version that I installed. Yeah, I think so. Cool. So back to this reference. So the from ID, so followers from ID. Yeah, we're going to need that as a query string parameter from ID. And what the hell is my ID? That's the real question here. This is the thing that kind of threw me a little bit. In fact, I was having a conversation today about this API. So they've gone from, if we have a look at the v5 Twitch API, you can actually query this endpoint with where is it? Followers somewhere. Where is it? Streams, users. Yeah, I think users reference. Yeah, get user followers. So you could query this before just using the user ID. Oh, hang on a second. Is the user ID just the username? Are they interchangeable? I'm pretty sure I did this before using a user ID that was just my username. Contrasted, I really hope that's actually it and not a rickroll. Surely there's a Twitch chat plugin that does rickroll detection. There's got to be. All right, whatever. Let's just see if this actually works. Next, not that, scoof codes, and let's see if it works. And it's probably not going to, because it's probably expecting a numeric from ID. And this request is taking forever. Forever. Does that mean that it's not worked? Might well. Let's go back to our API docker. Reference back to our get user follows. Cool. Hey, Pause here. Thank you very much for tuning in. I don't know why you thought the Z-Man wouldn't be here. Obviously, he was going to be here. Obviously. Thank you so much for joining. Cool. So that didn't work. Server didn't send a response. Twitch Helix users. Did I do it right? Is that the right endpoint? Could be. Could not be. No, I reckon it's expecting a numeric user ID. Yeah, that's the right endpoint. Anybody spot any problems with what I'm doing here? Okay, I reckon it's expecting a numeric user ID, which means we're going to have to do a lookup of me. I'm going to have to figure out what the hell my ID is. And I really hope there's no... Oh, optional scope. Thank God I don't have to go through a bloody OAuth authentication flow. Okay, cool. So instead, I'm going to figure out what my user ID is. Like so. And we need to pass the login query string, login scoof codes, go. And there we go. Okay, cool. So now I've got my user ID. So now we can, let's just chuck that in. We need a little scratch pad. I guess I've got a scratch pad here. Stupid Vim key bindings. All right, cool. So now we've got my user ID. In theory, we should be able to get my follows, and then we'll know exactly what requests we actually are going to have to make in this application to get what we want. And so that's from ID. Yes, very good point contrasted. The IDs in the example are numerical, therefore you'd expect these ones to be 2. Cool. So good thing we actually grabbed it. Copy, and let's go back to Postman and paste that in there. Just sort out whatever funky keybind is going on here. Anyway, cool. There we go. And are we going to get something? Yes, there we go. Cool. And they look like followers. So this is what I was saying today to contrasted. V5 of this API, you just got back, you got that total back, which is obviously useful. But the other thing you got back is you didn't just get these IDs, you actually got the full information about the users. So you got their usernames, because ultimately I don't actually want to display an ID. That means absolutely nothing. Because again, if you've just joined, I'm trying to write something that's going to be able to scrape the most recent follower and a follower count, and I'm going to actually display them in the bottom left down here, just underneath where the cursor is, somewhere down there, right? And so the idea is that I'm going to put a name there. I'm not just going to put some random numeric ID. So V5 of the API actually gave you back that in this data. For some reason, this new API is not giving me that back. And I shouldn't say for some reason, like it makes sense what they're doing. So now we've just got the IDs, but it's an extra hop. I'm going to now have to make an extra API request to figure out who, and I think it's ordered in, from the looks of it, descending order. Yes, I think so. Yeah, descending order. Yeah, descending order. So I'm going to have to take that first to ID and dereference it back to a username. And so this is where something like GraphQL would really come in handy, because GraphQL lets you sort of say, well, make this API request or give me this data back, and then based on that data sort of do additional queries in the background. The GraphQL layer takes care of that for you, and then gives you back the data that you want in the structure that you want. So if this was a GraphQL API, I'd be able to say, give me all of the followers of this user ID, and then also give me back all their usernames. But unfortunately, we don't have that. So we're going to have to take this, extract it, and then do an API request. Okay, cool. So now that we've got this, I think we can probably start writing a little bit of code. So that's sort of the proof of concept of this API. That's how it works. We've got the total there. We're going to have to dereference this and do another API request. All right, let's go over to good old WebStorm. So I'm going to pop up a terminal, and the first thing I'm going to need to do, so I have set this up a little bit before time. It's a Git repo. You can go and have a look at it on my GitHub. I should probably put a link to that somewhere. Yeah, note to self, put a link to that somewhere. Need to write this down so I don't forget. But I've stuck a license in there, I've stuck a git ignore in there, but that's it, and this little readme. So the first thing we're going to do is, actually, what version of Node am I running? Version 8. That may need an update, or we may need to do some NVM stuff if I'm going to sort of come through on my plan to use async await, but I guess we will see. But in the meantime, I'm going to do a yarn init. I'm going to use yarn because yarn is cool. 001 question description. Is that bugged? Should that say question? Maybe, maybe not. Application. Hi, gross sack of sacks. Love it. Z-Man, thanks for the GitHub link. A small application to fetch Twitch follower data. That'll do for the moment. Index.js is fine. It knows where my URL is. That's the author. MIT license. Cool. Done. We got a package JSON. Cool. So, what do I think about DOM99? Very good question. Dom Perignon 99. I can't say I've ever sampled that delectable beverage. So no comment. um, cool, but thank you for watching nonetheless. And keep the comments and questions coming. Appreciate all you guys taking time out of your evening to give me a watch. Very, very much appreciated. Cool. So we're here, and oh, Dom99. Okay, it's some GitHub thing. All right. Well, obviously, I'm not going to have a look at it right now, but I guess I will have a look at it when the stream is done. Thank you for bringing it. If somebody else wants to take a look and give me their opinions, we can kind of like divide and conquer this. Would appreciate feedback. Yeah, dude, awesome. If it's some project you're working on, more than happy to have a look. Not that I'm probably the authoritative source on anything really, but yeah, hey, dude, absolutely. No cross promote, thanks, Z-Man. Look, no, happy for cross promotion. I mean, depending on what it is, as long as it's something savory and wholesome and coding related, which it seems to be if it's on GitHub. All right, cool. So we have our package JSON initialized. I'm gonna have to create a little JavaScript index.js. Let's start there. Cool. So first, now here's the thing. I'm sure I've done API requests in JSON in Node.js before. There's got to be something in the standard library, right? Node API requests. There is, right? Yeah, let's just let's just Google. Oh no, there it is. It's in the HTTP API. Yeah, I thought so. Let's hope this is nice. Yeah, and look, let's try and use Node built-ins as much as possible. All right, this is Node v9 10.1. I mean, I guess that's the latest. Yeah, I should probably do a little NVM. Do I have NVM installed? NVM. Oh, good thing I do. Cool. So nvm install, let's go with, is there an nvm install latest? Probably. Nvm install latest? Yeah. Use them promises. Yeah, well, sorry, yeah, we'll see about the promises, but, oh look, nvm ls remote. Cool. Sorabo, promises are so ES 2015, probably earlier than that. We want to use good old async await if we can. Oh right, it's just giving me what I already knew. All right, cool. Let's do nvm install 9.10.1. Does it need a V? Hope not. Nope, it doesn't. Cool. Yeah. I mean, so, but I mean, you say got to use their promises. So I was reading today because I hadn't really used async await before, and the thing that's always kind of confused me is, do you have to then, if you're not familiar with async await, it's sort of a nicer syntax for doing asynchronous programming instead of using callbacks, which are hell, or promises, right? Yes, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Gross sax, thank you. It's just syntactic sugar for promises, and so ultimately what you have to do at the top level is you have to use a promise anyway, I think, to actually make it work. So I guess we'll find out. Also, yeah, I would guess that it's probably not going to be much good me reviewing a code, but as I said, I'm more than happy to. But it may be completely useless. All right, we'll find out. Cool. Do I need an NVMRC here? Maybe. Z-Man, npm, and nvm do very different things, but yeah, cool. npm. All right. So we've got Node. Oops. All right, cool. We're now on 9.10.1. So I think we should have async await here. I don't think it's behind any kind of like crazy flags or anything. So let's go back to this doco and figure out how to do a client request. HTTP client request. HTTP.request. Cool. It takes a host name. It takes some headers as an object. It takes some, hopefully some query strings somewhere. Path. We're gonna have to do something to get query. Yarn is goat. Rude. Query strings, query strings, query strings. JavaScript guys, in the, oh no, here we go. Headers. Does it show you how to do some nice little query string stuff? You would presume, I guess you can just do a join. You can do a, yeah, no, let's not. Let's err on the side of node JS query string handling. Let's see what the, oh, there's a thing for it. Good old Node. It's got all the stuff that you need. You can stringify them. How good is that? Is that what it, yeah, that's what it's, yeah. Oh, amazing. Cool. So that's super easy. All right. So we've got to actually require it. Cool. Cool. All right, so let's go. So const query string equals require query string. Cool. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to probably require, do we have to require this? Yeah, we probably have to require HTTP. Cool, so we'll do that too. Oops, don't look at that. Facebook feed. Blue brands. Absolutely, more than happy to. Maybe not during the stream, but same thing happened last night. Somebody popped in and wanted to get some help with something. More than happy to chat to you afterwards. And Z-Man's happy to help too, so feel free to direct any questions to the Z-Man. Cool. So I'm also going to pull in this HTTP library. HTTP. Oops. Cool. Oh, actually, that's true too. Contraster can help as well. Everyone except Z-Man. Oh, that's uncharitable. Z-Man knows about email templates. But yeah, feel free to chuck it in the chat. Now, is it highlighting this? Node.js coding assistance is disabled. Well, that's not what we want. Alright, I don't trust that key combination as far as I can throw it. Just configuring coding assistance for, yeah, well, I should have set up my IDE before I started, shouldn't I? Control F1. Yeah, that didn't help. Do we need coding assistance? What a shambles. Well, you know, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. JavaScript, that's not what we want. Assistance, inspections, coding assistance. Yeah, that's what we suggest, configuring coding assistance for Node.js core modules. Oh, there we go. Oh, Node.js core library is not enabled. Well, we need that, don't we? And we don't want that interpreter. We want that one. And enable. Amazing. Cool. Thanks, Sorab. Cool. Alright, so it's working now. Sweet. How good is WebStorm? How good are JetBrains? The answer is very, very good. So what are we going to do next? Let's do a const fetch followers for scoof codes equals expression expected. And this is betraying my absolutely terrible knowledge of JavaScript. I mean, you know, I'm not writing it every day at the moment, so you know, it kind of sometimes goes out the window. That's right. Also, we should probably read in. Should we read in the API? We can probably hard code up here. Const API hostname equals. I think we can probably safely hard code this API hostname, because that's probably, if that actually changes, we're probably going to need to redo this whole thing. So I'm comfortable with that. I think. And in fact, that's the hostname there, right? Single quotes. And have linting set up. So that's the API hostname, and then we're going to want to do a HTTP dot request. There we go, and it's easy, and it takes an options argument, and it takes a callback. Oh, is this not permissified? Good night, Z-Man. Take care. I'll catch you soon. Alright, well, it seems like this question from Blue Brands is it's some sort of like computer vision thing. Are you trying to, is it some sort of get rich quick scheme? Yeah. The problem with hang on, let me just have a quick, it's a gambling site, and they show up a captcha, and you want to defeat the captcha. Oh, no, sorry. Email verification. Ah, cool. Right. And yeah, so as Contrast had pointed out, yeah, they put the bye Aaron, see you Z-Man, take care, looking forward to lunch. So yeah, they put the captcha there to defeat exactly that. If you could do that, Google wouldn't really be doing their job. But it's definitely within the realms of possibility. The problem is it's within the realms of possibility for people who have PhDs in machine vision, and who can write insane code to defeat those algorithms, which is, doable. But I hate to say it, but if you're having to ask here as to how to do that, it's probably going to be pretty damn difficult. But, hey, anything's possible. All right. Back to this code. Man, this is going to be a shambles because I don't know this standard library very well. So this request object takes a, oops, that's my Facebook again. I need to stop doing that. I'm very used to, so as you can probably see, I've set up my, I use this window manager called Awesome Window Manager, Awesome WM, and it's got multiple desktops, so you can switch to these things, and you can see it's just my blank background because there's nothing there. And I'm very used to switching between them because I usually run the IDE on one desktop, and then I run the, like my browser where my documentation and stuff is on another desktop, so I usually switch back and forth that, so that's why I keep accidentally switching to it. Alright, cool. Let's go back to our node, and we want to look for request, the request function. Cool. And it takes all of these things. Okay. Protocol. Cool. So we basically just need to fill out this request object, and it's pretty straightforward. So protocol is going to be HTTPS. Next thing, the hostname. Hostname is preferred over host. Yeah, okay, so hostname is going to be our API hostname that we set above with our const. Local address, you don't need any of that. Method defaults to get. Cool, that's what we want. And the path. Okay, so the path is going to be our... Alright, so this is when we're going to need to, up here, we're going to need to go const fetch, let's call it fetch followers path equals, and here we're going to have to do query string dot encode, and then we're going to pass it our object, right? So we're going to build up our object here, and so the const is, this is going to be our, let's first do our, we might as well do our headers object here. So our headers is going to be our client ID, and that's going to have a value of, and now this is the thing we should probably read from env. How do we read from env? Again, totally betraying the fact that I really don't know the node standard library very well. Node env. Environment variables, no, we want that. Process.env, oh, it's process.env. Process.env node, yeah, that's right, I have used this before. Process.env, yeah, where are we? Process.env System.env. Thank you, Sorab. Cool. System.env node. Presumably it's just an object, right? Yeah, process.env variable or system.env. It is so it is process.env. Aha, I see. Okay, cool. I don't think we need to. Do we need to pull it in as a requirement? Process.env node. No, I'm not going to ignore you. You know what you're doing. Process.env. Yeah. Do we need to require process? I don't think we do. I think it's just there. Yeah, it's a global. Yeah. Cool. So we probably want to do const API or const client ID equals process.env dot client ID. Cool. And so we're going to set that to our client ID. Cool. So we're going to pull that in from the environment. And actually, you know what, Sorab, you're going to be incredibly helpful when we get to this Docker stage of this because, well, you'll get to see me fumble my way through my knowledge of Docker. But yours far surpasses my own. Cool. And so then we're going to actually, and then we're probably going to also build up our const, our query parameters. And so all we, and so our query parameters for this, as we said before, we need to actually get, and let's also put in const, let's read the, let's read our, let's read the user ID from process.env as well, .user ID. So we're going to set these in our probably in our Docker compose file as environment variables. Your lack of arrow notation. Yeah, I did it before, but it decided that it didn't like it. I like arrow notation just as much as everybody else, but then what is it? Does it not expression expected? What is it not liking about this? Is it because my ECMAScript version is not the right one or something? Yeah, I'm trying to do the arrow notation. So you don't have Babel. Yeah, no, I don't have Babel. That's what I thought. I thought this was part. Is arrow notation really not in there as part of Node version 9? When is arrow notation coming? I mean, that'll be why. I sort of can't be bothered installing Babel. So you know what? I'm just gonna leave it like this for the moment, and I might chuck in a Babel later on, but like it's kind of overkill for what we're doing. Query parameters, and so that was just the, and I also really need ESLint because I'm mixing my single quotes and my double quotes here. Should have set up ESLint before. That's a good thing to do for next time. And so my from ID is going to be my user ID, and that's also going to come from the env. Cool. And so I think it's as simple as going query string dot encode, and so the object here we're going to pass is our query parameters, and I think that's it, because I think the defaults are just the standard things that we need for query strings, and this shouldn't be called fetch followers for scoop code. It should just be called fetch followers for. Let's be good developers here and go for usability for, sorry, for reusability, right? And let's pass the user ID as a parameter there. Cool. So I think that should give us our query string. Well, no, sorry. It's going to be slash followers. Is that the right endpoint? Maybe. What's the endpoint? That's not right. Oh, here we are. It's further down here somewhere. Get user follows. Users follows. It's just follows, not followers. Cool. Follows. And then does the query string, presumably that'll do. I think we should check out documentation. Query string, how's it going to give it to me? It's just going to give it to me as querystring.stringify. Oh, this API is different. Huh. Great. Is it syntax, or is it just an alias for compatibility or something? Or is the API completely changed? Interesting. Well, we're going to find out. Yeah. Hopefully that .encode exists. Maybe that's some sort of .stringify. They have the same signature, I would think. Well, sorry, they have the same signature based on the IntelliSense. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna go with that. Cool path. I mean, we can see what's going on. Fetch fol if we really need to. Fetch fol is path. All right, cool. So that's done. And the next thing we need to do is need to make sure we're putting all the things. Oh, we need our headers. Can't forget those with our client ID. Headers. Oh, we can just use our. Can we use our little No, it doesn't like that either. Babel. Shorthand property names are not supported by current JavaScript version. Oh, you just need to change the. What ECMAScript version does Node? Node 9 ECMAScript version. Hey Salesforce C, I have 4 resolution options now. Thank you for joining, by the way. Thank you everybody who's taking the time to watch this. 4 resolution options. That's cool. I didn't do anything, so I don't know how that happened. In fact, I have a suspicion. I was reading a bit more about Twitch today, because as I was saying yesterday, I know so little about Twitch, I probably shouldn't even be streaming on here. But I am. And what I was reading was that the transcode is, like, whether you get transcodes or not, because that's essentially what it is, like it's transcoding it into different quality options, is based on capacity from the sounds of it. It's based on, like, yeah, nice try, Travi Chan, not going to give you my Twitch API key. It's based on capacity. So if you're a Twitch partner, which is like the top tier of paid promotion, and you're probably making a fair bit of money off of Twitch, you obviously automatically get the transcodes. If you're a Twitch affiliate, I think it's the next level, you get sort of transcodes when they're available, and presumably if you're a Twitch pleb like I am, then you just get transcodes if they're available, and you probably don't get them that often. So maybe there's extra capacity on all the probably hundreds of elastic transcode nodes that Twitch are paying for, so that's why I have all the things. Hooray for being in a weird time zone, indeed. Okay, cool. So here's where we're going to figure out what ECMAScript version I have access to. Oh yeah, interesting. Node green, cool. So I can have a look at what versions I have available if I enable. Yeah, I mean, presumably this is smart enough to not give me things that I can't. Enable file watcher to transpile ECMAScript 6 to ECMAScript 5 using Babel. I'm not sure whether I should do that or not. I really need to learn more about actually using WebStorm. Do I want to transpile? I don't think I need to, right? It sounds like some of these ECMAScript 6, let's see where we are. Oh, it's got like 99% ES6 coverage. No, we don't need to bloody... That's ES 2015. Is ES 2015 equal to ES6? I think it is. That was where the link took me. Alright, cool. I'm just going to throw caution to the wind and say no, and hope that I don't need to do that. And then we can use all our fancy ES6 things like arrow functions. Hooray, there you go, Sorab. Problem solved. Cool. So now this request, and it is also fine with my trailing comma. Okay, cool. That was a good thing to enable. Sweet. We don't really need that anymore. Query strings should have a query strings. What else do we need from this object that we're going to pass into the hp.request method? Do we need anything else? Headers, we don't need auth. I don't think we need agent. Now, the question here is how are we going to get this thing, instead of doing a callback, should we pull in some sort of library to do, or did they add it to the standard library? Node 9 Promissify. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. util.promissify. So I think we can just pull in the util package. Const util equals require util. And I think we can just go util.promissify. Do we want to go... Yeah, maybe we'll just declare it up here. Maybe we'll go const async request equals http util.promissify. I think we can do this. Let's look up our Docker. Util.promissify. Yeah, you just give it, takes a function, following the comment error first. Yeah, callback last to the last argument, returns version, returns promises. Oh, and it's even got async examples. That's what we want. Awesome. Cool. So I think we can just go util.promissify http dot request. And it doesn't like something about this. Unterminated statement. What the hell does that mean? Oh no, it's fine. Just having a little hissy fit. Cool. And so now we have an async request function. And so I think we can just go await async. Ooh, this could all blow up in front of us, but what doesn't it like about that? Expression statement or assignment, not call. Oh yeah, because we actually need to assign it to something. Const followers response equals. Still doesn't like my await. Yeah, ES 2017. So I am gonna have to transpile. Yeah. Well, actually, we can look. Oh, I did it again. I need to stop doing that. Not that there's anything particularly salacious on my Facebook page, but where were we at? Node.green. Yeah. See, sorry, I thought async await was in the latest version of Node 9. But I could be wrong. Async, is it still behind a flag? I swear yeah, no, it's in here. Async methods, object literals, async function, async arrow functions. Yeah, it's all in here. We're all G, I'm pretty sure. What we probably need to do is we probably actually need to tell. Yeah, I wonder if we need to tell. No, we need to probably tell WebStorm that we want to use ES 2017. And where the hell is that? Sorab, you seem like you would be the person who actually knows where it is in these settings. So I guess I can just search for it. ES 2017, nothing, language version. Did that do it? JavaScript. Ah, there we go. Oh, hang on. Yeah. ECMAScript 2015, 2016, 2017, and some proposals. Yeah, I know it said 2015, but obviously if it's in ES 2015 is, hang on, we need a bloody decoder ring for, I think ES 2015 is ES 6, right? So if our current language version is ES 6, we should have ES 2015 features, and it claims, the claim here is that async functions are in node 9. Yeah. Look, it's doing like scrolling. It says, yeah, when you scroll down, it says ES 2017, right? And ES 2017, oh, so wait, is ES 2017 not ES 6? But it says back there, it says on our, yeah, yeah, we need a transpiler for ECMAScript naming conventions. Yeah, very, very good point. 15 viewers, thank you all so much for taking a little bit of time to watch me stream this evening. Watch me fumble my way through the vagaries of JavaScript. Yeah, the JavaScript ecosystem, just so user-friendly. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, so I was probably right. I probably should have just set up. Babel and then just not worried about it. I guess I can set it up. It's not that hard to set up, right? Yeah, I guess I could set it up. Contrasted. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good evening. Yeah, learn it through Node. It's really fun. It's got an awesome standard library. I mean, that's really the best part about it, is that like all the batteries are included. Take care. Thanks for watching. Back to our current predicament. Am I just gonna and you'll spend the next 3 days googling what is Docker? Well, you didn't. Well, you know what? This video is going to be recorded. If I actually get to the point of doing something with Docker, which is within the realms of possibility, if I can figure out how to make await work or just ditch it, this video is going to be recorded. So have a look at it in tomorrow or whenever you got some free time, because the Docker stuff is going to be in there, and hopefully I'll do a decent job of explaining it. Yes, alright, so Sora has given us the decoder ring. ES7 is ES 2016, ES6 is ES 2015, and ES8 is ES 2017. Okay, so our thing in here, settings, our JavaScript says ECMAScript 6, right? Which is technically ES 2015. But then on the side here, casually, oh, it's also 2015, 2016, 2017, and some proposals. So who the hell knows? I think the answer is nobody knows. I don't know what the hell this little extra pane is for. Am I going to be able to find, like, JavaScript versions? Where the hell am I going to find those? Let's consult Dr. Google, and let's just go WebStorm ES WebStorm async await. There you go. Async await support. Don't tell me it's some, like... Don't tell me it's... don't tell me it's some sort of thing that... No, this looks like it's working for somebody. JSX await can be used in function. I wonder if... Yes, that's exactly why. It's because I probably haven't declared this async at the top level. How do you do that on an arrow function? Like that. Yeah, seems fine with that. It really doesn't like that await right there. In fact, it doesn't like any of this. Is that because I haven't got a thing at the end? Why doesn't it? Hey Lewis1, thanks for watching. Glad you're enjoying it. Really appreciate you jumping on and having a look. Well, it really doesn't like this function here. You know what? Sometimes IntelliSense is probably more trouble than it's worth. Expression statement is not assignment or call. Anybody in the audience got any idea why it's complaining about this? I've declared up here async request equals this util.permissify. I don't know. Who knows? Async request. Can it reference? Yeah, it knows what that is. Is it because I need to... Very frustrating. Why doesn't the IntelliSense understand this? What are we going to do to debug this? Use let or var? Yeah, I don't think that's going to do it. Yeah, maybe it can't be. Maybe it needs... No, that's not going to help. Well, we've hit our first roadblock of the evening. Unused constant followers await. Did the IntelliSense crap out or something and I just need to open this up again? No, it doesn't like any of this. What if we just... Oh, see, it seems to like that. Yeah. So it's cool with that. The top level thing is in fact a function, yes. And yes, an arrow function is the same. Salesforce C and arrow function is the same. Well, it's not the same, but well, sorry. Arrow function is syntactic sugar. Putting async in front of it should do the right thing. Doesn't seem to like what doesn't it like there? I wonder if we just build it in. Host name. What doesn't it like about that? Seems to have no problem down there. It's because we didn't close something. It seems to be complaining less now, so that's good. I bet this makes for thrilling viewing. Header, let's pass our headers object again, and the path is our fetch followers path. Yeah, right, okay. So it's just randomly complaining less now. You know what? Stuff you, IntelliSense. Is it expecting an await here? Yeah. Doesn't like this equals. Excuse me, I'll take a drink of water. Unused constant for await. Why isn't this coming up as being referenced here? Very interesting. Why isn't that coming up as being referenced? What is going on? That's not a built-in. Oh, now, look, yeah, something funky is definitely happening, because now it seems to figure out whether I'm using things or not. Oh, and now it's gotten, something's just bugged with the IntelliSense. That's exceedingly annoying. And yeah, Sorab is totally right. That's exactly what happens. The meaning of this changes. I think this gets bound automatically with regular functions, and this doesn't get bound if you use an arrow function, something like that. Alright, so now that this thing's decided it's going to work, and I know not to trust the IntelliSense anymore, cool. Once we have the follower's response, right, the follower's response is going to, in theory, should have a field in it. Where's our API documentation? Follower response is going to have our total, and so we're going to want to capture the total and probably return it as part of an object. So let's go const total followers equals dot total. Cool. What's complaining about there? Whatever. Yeah, this IntelliSense is definitely bugged because there's nothing wrong with it. So it's going to have a total field. So that's going to give us our total number of followers, and we're also going to get we're going to need the user ID of last follower, and so to get that we're going to go followers response dot data, and we're going to get the first element. Cool. And then, oh sorry, first element dot from ID. Now how it just happened to guess, oh, in fact it's not the from ID, it's in fact the to ID. To ID, I think. Yeah, to ID, to ID. Cool. Cool. So that should do it. Or do we even want to go? No, it doesn't really matter. Dot to ID. Cool. And that's the idea of the last follower. And so as we said before, because of the way that they've changed this API, and let me actually just show you that, just to prove that I'm not a filthy liar. You can see in here, if we learn, where's the followers endpoint? Follows. Where's it gone? Streams reference. There we are. Get followed. No, it's under the users reference. Yeah. Get user follows. Yeah. Oh no, get, nope, that's the wrong way around. Get, where is it? No, it's probably the channels reference. There we are. Channels reference. Get channel followers. So you can see this endpoint before we had one on the v5 API, and you can see back here you get the display name back. You get the ID too, but you get the display name when you query this followers endpoint. Unfortunately, when they redid the API, they decided to not do that for us, which is a little crap. And so when we do the get user follows, we just get back a list of 2 IDs, and so we've got to extract our 2 ID, and then we're going to have to call get users to get back their display name. Called hypermedia. Thanks, Sorabo. Yeah, it's called not making me provide an unnecessary round trip in my API for seemingly no reason. And I guess that's, as I was saying before, GraphQL could really alleviate that. Cool. Why don't we build up, let's call this const followers. Oops, I should have done a rename there. Let's do a followers query parameters. And so down here we're gonna reuse the same headers, and we're gonna build up a set of query parameters for the users. Actually, let's, as we always say, the hardest part is naming the damn thing. Followers request. Don't be afraid to be verbose. Users request query parameters equals, and in here we're going to need the now what is the, oh, it's just the ID. ID is going to equal our user ID of last follower, and that's it for that. And so then our const fetch user display name path is going to be /users, and then we're going to tack on our query string dot encode and encode our query parameters. Cool. And then we should just be able to do the same thing. Const users response equals await async request, and then we're going to pass in similar stuff to up here. So and that's all the same. The only thing that's going to change is it's going to be our fetch user display name path. Hey Slayer Darth, how's it going? Thanks for joining. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Still very, very kind of floored and amazed that as of right now we got 12 people watching, and that a lot of you have been watching for a little while. So yeah, thank you so much. Cool. So once we've got our user response back, we should then just be able to go back to our user response dot data. It's an array, so we're going to get the first element, assuming there is one there, and we're going to get their display name. So we should just be able to go const last follower display name equals users response dot data. We're going to get the first element, and then we're going to go dot display underscore name. Cool. And in theory we should be done. And so what I'm going to return here is I'm going to return an object, and we're going to put the let's just go like that, total followers user response, oh sorry, last follower display name. Cool. Why doesn't it like that? Return is unnecessary. Oh, last statement of a function with no return values. Well, yeah, this is when we need an ESLint to kind of override what good old WebStorm wants us to do, because I think I greatly prefer having an I know it's not technically necessary, but I think putting an explicit return there 99% of the time is going to be less confusing than using the implicit return. I don't think that really is an unterminated statement, but yeah, cool. Yeah, just the IntelliSense bugging out yet again, and it thinks we're not using that, and we actually are. Yeah, the IntelliSense is whack. Slayer Darth, we had a big discussion about this about 10-15 minutes ago. We think it was ES 2018. Actually, I had the page up. Let's see if I've still got it here. So there's this great page, which I've definitely seen before, but I've sort of rediscovered, Node.green, and it'll tell you what is currently supported in the latest version of Node.js, and it sort of gives you, like, so you can see that, anyway. Down here, if we find a sync, they were introduced in, based on this, ES 2017, which equals ES 8, according to the decoder ring Sorab gave us. So yeah, return there. So we had to do a bit of fiddling to set up WebStorm to realize that that's what we were using. But yeah, it seems to work. So I think we should probably test this, shouldn't we? I'm gonna have to figure out how to set process.env, but that should be doable. And so I think we can just go const test. You're having a look at MDN, and it's a draft specification ES 2017. Yeah, a draft into ES 2017. Does that mean it didn't make it into ES 2017? So user ID, and then we're going to pass in just our user ID. And then, no, I think we just, because this is actually a promise, because it's an async function, because it's just syntactic sugar, I think we can just go, oops, no, well, we're going to need that, but I think we can go .then, and then return value. See, this is the thing, I swear whether it needs flags to enable... Look, I mean, we're going to find out in about 2 seconds when I actually try and run this thing, assuming I haven't riddled it with problems and errors. But I'm reasonably sure that I saw some big fanfare on the front page of... It was either Reddit or it was Hacker News or something like that, and people were making a big deal about the fact that, hey, you can now use async await natively in Node version blah blah blah, and this was like 6 months ago. And I'm just going to, right, so here what I'm doing is I'm calling the function we've just written, and I'm going to console.log our return value to see if it's actually working. And I'm going to need to inject, what? Slayer Darth. Say it ain't so. ECMAScript 2019? That seems like it's ages away. I mean, yeah, well, look, I don't know is the answer. That's, you know, definitely part of the reason why I'm doing this stream is to figure out stuff like this and how the hell it works. And yeah, I guess we're going to find out. I guess I got to set my end variables. How do I export? Is this how we do it? Export user ID equals, and then I need to grab my API code thingamabob that I put in here. There it is, my client ID for this API that I'm making. Please don't steal it, not that you could really do it. Well, Slayer, I don't know if it's fragmented, it's just damn confusing. Like, you know, thank God Babel exists, because without Babel we'd really all be up shit creek. You know, I don't know if it's not sort of, I guess it's sort of fragmentation, but if you just install Babel, then you're kind of okay. Is that how you, oh, that didn't work. But yeah, look, it's certainly bloody confusing. It's certainly, and it, yeah. Look, I guess that's what you have when you have a, you know, like C++ goes through this. I mean, it's the life, what am I trying to say? The timelines, I guess, are a little slower. You know, you get a new C++ version every few years as opposed to getting one every year. But I mean, that's what happens when you take a language and make it the entire foundation of this awesome thing called the internet, and then let the entire ecosystem stagnate and don't update the language for 10 years or 20 years until people are poking fun of it, and then finally go, hey, maybe we should do something about this. Oh, and I just set the wrong end variable. Export, that's our client ID equals paste. That's our client ID. And then our user ID we grabbed before, And I hope I'm setting these correctly. That's our user ID there. That's the user ID of myself, yours truly. And all right, and then is that how you export? I'm pretty sure. There you go. Betrays my also lack of Linux knowledge. Index.js. Unhandled promise rejection. All right. Protocol HTTPS not supported. That's not good. Fuck. Oh, hang on. Is it just? Oh, hang on. Is it expecting it like? Wait, I just heard a ding. Where's that ding from? Somewhere. It's expecting it like this. Absolutely, Salesforce. Export command is creating an environment variable. So up here, we're pulling these values in from the environment, and the reason we do that is because that's part of the whole like 12-factor app thing. We want to inject things that are likely to change, like this client ID. This user ID probably isn't likely to change, but it's just nice if we inject it here. But the client ID is tied to the like API instance, the app in the Twitch dev tools that I'm using at the moment, so that definitely could change in the future. And since we're going to be packaging this as part of a Docker container, we want to have that injectable so that in theory we can set those effectively at runtime. When we start up the Docker container, we can go, oh, I'm going to start it up with a different client ID, and I don't have to rewrite any of my code. I can just change one line in a Docker Compose file, which is going to be awesome. So that is what that export is doing down there. It's creating that end variable, and the syntax here is like basically just key value. I'm pretty sure that's what the syntax is. I guess we'll find out in a second. Cool. Now I'm really hoping that what I did here, which is changing the protocol, adding a colon there, I'm hoping that's what it's expecting. And it's not. Crap. So does that request thing not support HTTPS? That's really, really bloody frustrating. You've stitched me up, bloody Node.js, as... Yeah. HTTP. Oh, HTTP. Oh, HTTP2, HTTPS. Oh, there's a separate library. Sarabo. Yeah. We got it. Cool. That should do it. Cool. Alright, hopefully that works. I should probably commit this at some point as well, huh? HTTP. Oh, because I forgot to change that bad boy. Cool. Let's go again. What is going on? What did I do? I lost my history. Did I start a new... I hope I didn't open a new terminal. Anyway. Hey, it looks like it's doing something. It could be timing out. But I guess we'll find out in a second. We're doing something. It's doing something. It's just sitting there. It shouldn't have taken this. Oh, there we go. Emitted error event. Socket hang up. Interesting. We don't want that. That probably... Or do we want that? Maybe we do. What do I keep hitting that keeps doing that? Function something. Function J. Anyway. Okay, so it is expecting HTTPS colon. Okay. And how are we going to debug this? I guess we could attach the debugger. Guess there's no harm there. Yeah, why not? You guys ever see... I mean, the JavaScript experts out there will have probably seen this before, but if you haven't, it's bloody cool. There's actually a Node.js debugger built in to the Chrome DevTools. I just have to remember how to actually make it work, and then we'll get right onto it. Chrome DevTools Node.js debugger. Debugging Node.js Chrome DevTools. There we go. Yeah, it's been a little while since I've done this. Current version of Node. You got to run it with the inspect flag. Oh, about inspect. About inspect. That's what we want. Ooh, it's finding my Google Home Mini on the network. Interesting. Oh, there they are. Yeah, there you go. I don't know which one of these is which. Maybe let's not worry about it. This is very cool though. Let's not try. Yeah, that was right. Hotkey to kill that window. We probably don't really need this. Should we? Oh, we should probably chuck something in this catch block. Let's just console log this and see if that provides any assistance. It probably won't, but yeah, I wonder why it's rejecting. Hopefully it catches that, unless of course it's being thrown somewhere. It should work. I think that should work. Let's print things in here. Let's just good old console.log debugging fetch follows path, and let's just see if that's actually working properly. Yeah, that certainly looks right. And then what about our fetch users display name path? Oh, I know what I've done. I bloody switched to some other bloody layer on my keyboard. Woe betide me. That's gonna make things frustrating. Damn this unnecessarily complicated keyboard. Right, so it's failing up here somewhere. It's probably failing to do this request because I probably balked up this async await stuff. That would be my assumption. Am I passing all the right things? Did I set my client ID correctly? You know what? In fact, this is what happened before when I didn't actually set my client ID correctly. So, what happens if I type env? Oh, it gives me lots of things. Oh yeah, no, look. It's in there. All sorts of other things, which you probably don't want to see. But the user ID and the client ID are in there. Let's just console log these out here. Am I actually passing that in? Yeah, I am. It's not figuring out that I am, but I am. .log user ID console.log. Yeah, man, the IntelliSense is really balked. Really balked. That's very frustrating. Yep, it's getting them. So what is the problem? What is the problem? It doesn't. Is it because it doesn't like this? It's because it doesn't like the permissify. Yeah, I mean, look. Let's. User ID is getting shadowed. Oh, because of. It shouldn't be because it's. I'm passing it in explicitly down here. Fetch follows the user ID. I mean, I know the IntelliSense isn't picking up on it, but I don't. Well, I mean, we can do it. Oh no! No! What's happened? Alright, this is where I look up the manual for my keyboard and I figure out how to change layers again. Oh my god. What a shambles. What a shambles. Sorry, I'm scrolling too much. I probably need to, cut down on the scrolling. Hey Rissos, thank you for joining. Thank you for having a look. Welcome to the channel. Rissos is actually my dear brother. My favorite, only, but still favorite. He would be my favorite even if he wasn't my only. My dear brother, thank you so much for joining. Hope you enjoy. I'm just figuring out how to switch layers on my keyboard because I've switched to the wrong layer. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And it's not dip switches, no, because this is my poker Salesforce. Salesforce knows my and I'm running a faux Lisp machine. Let me just quickly. I can't remember what it's called. I'm running these Salesforce. They look something like that, sort of like that. Not quite as cool, but yeah. They're pretty. Not quite a full set, unfortunately. They've got the cool symbols on the top as well, though. But yeah, let's get back to it's not div switches. It's just I just need to figure out what bloody layer I have switched to, and where my function key is, because I've totally. Oh my god, I've totally screwed this up. Is that doing it? No. Oh, how thrilling. This always happens at the bloody worst times. The most inopportune times. That's control. Where's the function key? That's alt. I think that's the function key. Okay. Let's hope for the best. Alright. I've ascertained which key is the function key. Did that do it? That did it! We're back. I think we're back. Yes, we're back. Alright, cool. Alright. Back to the coding. Rissos, since you've just joined us for your benefit, I've written some node here. We're making some API requests. The problem is that one of them is rejecting. Well, or it's just not working. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna forget about using that. I'm just going to go back to using https.request, and I'm just going to pass it a little like inline callback here, result, and I'm going to console log the result. Right, this is just a debug to just test that our API request actually works. It is https.request. Do we need some context or something, Slayer Darth? If you seem to know a lot about this. I haven't specified the method, that's correct. The method is apparently implicit according to the API documentation I saw. Yeah, yeah, it's just implicit. And I'm presuming this callback is result error, so I should probably do console.log result. Yeah, let's just split this out into a proper function. Instead of trying to inline things too much, if error console.log error. Cool. What doesn't it like about that? Man, it really doesn't. Xenocron, thank you for watching. It is, yeah, that's what I was saying. It is get by default. Node index.js. Hopefully this will give us a little bit of insight, because I'm assuming this request is giving us an error back, and hopefully the error will contain some details, and if we console.log it, we'll see what's going on. Also, I shouldn't be awaiting. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because I've got await in front of there. That's not awaitable. Let's just see what this returns, but alright, it did the same. Socket hang up, yeah. Does my precious native HTTP library do while locking? If you've got a suggestion, Sorabus, to a better request library, I'm all ears. I'm not wedded to the native request library. Does it do while logging? If I had to guess, I would say no, but I mean, we can find out. That's not what we want. HTTPS. What if we use HTTP2? I mean, we don't need it, but oh, hang on. Do we need an agent or something? Managing persistence. Oh, there's an http.get. Why am I bloody wasting my time with it? Yeah. No, we don't need an agent. There's a native https.get method. Yeah, that'll do. And we probably don't need to pass a protocol in that case. Let's see if that works. Nope. I mean, API hostname, we define this up here. It's api.twitch.tv. Oh, yeah, no, that is the right one. Sorry. Had a panic for a second. Yeah, look, that's a solid idea. I did do that before, but no, that's fair enough. Console.log, our API hostname, console.log our headers and console.log our path. Cool. And we can probably pull these out because these are actually getting passed correctly. We know that. Oh, hang on. Am I passing the... Oh, yeah, that's all good. Yeah. Alright. Well, let's see what we got. I put them in the wrong spot, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Oops. Let's put that up here. Oh, and the path is not actually the path. The path is the... Let's remove that too. I don't think we need that either. We want to do fetch followers path. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Yeah, I mean, that looks right to me. Does anybody see the fact that it... Oh, there's no bloody question mark! And yes, thank you, Slayer Darth. You do need Helix. Okay, cool. We got it. Problem figured out. Yeah, spot on. Thank you, Slayer Darth. It is. It's in fact Helix / and we should actually be putting a question mark here, and that's what you get when you try and construct query strings manually. And I was thinking, before I did the stream, I was thinking this afternoon, oh, I should mention the thing, because actually at my place of employ, there's actually a big to-do on this random bit of code which does some query string stuff, and it's because query strings are annoying, and here we've got the query string encoding okay, but there's nothing to stop you doing dumb shit like leaving out the question mark before the query string. Thank you so much. This should do it. We're still using our async request there, so that's probably actually working. So we should be good, and we should be able to change this back to async request, and we should be able to put an await in front of it. And now, with a bit of luck, this will actually work. And actually, we probably need to change this path down here. Yeah. Helix. Thank you, Slayer Darth. Unblocked us. Legend. Is it still not going to work? I mean, it certainly looks like it's still not working. But that's all right. We'll get there. We'll get there. I mean, it's doing something. Oh, hang on. Async request doesn't take those parameters. We probably should take out our little debug function from here now. Cool. Let's see if that does any better. And it was also in the wrong... Yeah, it was... What a shambles. Anyway. We should probably be printing out just for debugging. Console.log. Yeah, so yeah, so we actually, before you jumped on the stream, I actually did test using Postman. And so it's got, so I know what it should be, and I've just realized it shouldn't be /, it should be, I've stuffed it up again. It shouldn't be /followers, it should just be like that. That should do it. That should do it. And down here it should. So yeah, totally agree. I like using curl or Postman to test before I do stuff as well. And I did that and it still didn't help. So sometimes you can't win. And it's still not working. I wonder if it's because of our async await trickery. We didn't stuff something up here, did we? Oh, and there should probably be a / at the start of that. Yeah, that'll do it. Man, just like path issues on path issues on path issues. I think we're slowly zeroing in. The new API tester these days is Insomnia. API tester, do you mean in Postman or somewhere else? Is there a Twitch API tester or something? Oh, sorry, sorry, you're talking about some other product. I haven't heard of that. Insomnia. What's it? What's the sort of what's the benefit there? If you can give me a quick rundown. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Super appreciate the support and wonderful people like Slayer Darth getting me unstuck, figuring out what the hell I'm doing wrong. Just take a little sip of water. Turns out talking for 2 hours straight dries out your throat. Who'd have thought? Oh, you haven't used it yet. Yeah, cool. Look, maybe we could have a play with it at some point. But I'm super keen to figure out what the hell is going wrong here and why I can't actually make a damn request. Because I took too many things out of here. Should I have took out... it's a Postman alternative. Okay, interesting. Should I not have taken out my little... Port path agent false. HTTP. Are we in HTTP or HTTPS? We're in HTTP. We want HTTPS. Oh, it has night mode. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I do like a night mode. What methods do we have here? HTTPS dot. Did I just invent a method? Dot get. Oh no, I didn't invent a method. Cool. Oh, it's probably because. Oh god, it's probably because that little permissify doesn't actually work. All right, this is getting ridiculous. Async await HTTP requests. Node.js. I'm pretty sure we've got the syntax right now. Well, sorry, not the syntax. We've got the endpoint right now. I think it's like some async await stuff. What I just noticed there was if you look at here, this is not. I don't think this is actually gonna permissify very nice. No, maybe it will. Yeah, node fetch. Yeah, see, that's what I'm more looking like. Thank you, Zenecron. Zenecron. Yeah, I'm gonna the request module. Promise I'll be async. Yeah, node fetch. All right, you know what, dude? I'm just gonna pull in node fetch. Why not? Could it do async await? Yeah, it definitely can. All right, cool. So where are we? Yarn add node fetch. Cool, that was quick. Jesus. Must be a pretty lightweight package. And we don't need that anymore. Fetch equals require. Let's have a look at the docker. Thank you, Zenecron. A very good suggestion. And we just do import fetch from node fetch. Yep, cool. And we can just do fetch. Yeah, easy. Cool. Alright, so we should just be able to go. Yes, or just keep doing npm install until the problem goes away. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I can't say otherwise. Do we have examples here with await? Yeah, the res is just fetch. Yeah, cool. And what's the API? URL, and then we pass in an options object. Yep, that seems pretty straightforward. Cool, so it wants us to construct the URI ourselves, which is tantamount to a bad idea. Well, it's not a bad idea. It's just, like I said before, I've been bitten within the past year by Slayer Darth. I'm running Arch Linux. It is in fact a Linux distro. It's Arch Linux with the awesome WM window manager. And that's in fact why I'm writing this entire thing, because there's a lovely service called Streamlabs, which if you have much to do with Twitch, you'll probably have heard of Streamlabs and understand what it is. And they offer exactly what I'm trying to write now, which is a little thing that scrapes the API, and, or not scrapes, it's not really scraping if you're hitting an API, but anyway, hits the API and gets your followers, and puts it into a text file, which you can then display using this thing called Open Broadcast software, but it doesn't work on Linux for some reason. Like the scripts or the application they have that does that fetching of the things, there's no Linux version. It says coming soon. So that's why I'm writing this in the first place. So yes, Linux distro, Arch Linux. I've been using it for years. I bloody love it. It's good fun. Okay, followers response. We should just be able to do an await fetch. We're going to pass in our URL, which is going to be our, you know what? Now that we're not passing in the API host, we can probably just do this, which is we can go base URI, or even base API URI, right, and put the full thing in here, https://twitch.tv, and then the bit that doesn't change, which is the helix, and we just have to remember to adjust all of these. And in fact, I'm even gonna, no, let's leave it in. Yeah, base URI, let's do that. And let's take off the slash on the end. And so then we can just go fetch, and we can put in the base API URL plus the fetch followers path, and then as the options object, we're going to pass in whatever we're allowed to, which is a headers. That's just going to be our headers. And we want to pass in a, I think that's it. We just need the headers, right? Yeah, cool. That should do it. And in fact, we can use our little fancy JavaScript implicit, whatever the hell that's called. All right, nice. You wrote your own thing. That's pretty cool. Is a response object must be processed further. Oh, so what's in the response object? I probably need to get something out of the response object, don't I? Thank you, Xenocron. You're showing me exactly how little I know about this, but oh, you've got to do like res.json, and you've got to await that as well. Okay, oh, look, that's cool. We can, thankfully that's relatively easy. Followers response, then we can do const followers response JSON equals followers response or equals await follower response dot JSON. Why do we, since you seem to know a whole lot about this, Xenocron, why do we have to await the follower response? Why is it async, taking presumably an object we already have and converting to JSON? That confuses me, but I mean, many things confuse me. I'm not questioning it, I'm just curious as to why that is the way it is. Cool, and so we should just be able to now do our followers response JSON console.log that. Right, and then we're going to do the same thing down here. We're going to pull that out. The response is headers only. Oh, it's streaming. Oh, interesting. Right, so it's doing streaming JSON processing. How fascinating. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. And very interesting. Cool, so that's fine. So const users response JSON equals await users response dot JSON. And then here we should be able to get that out, and we should, in theory, if we've done anything right. And look, IntelliSense seemed to have shut the hell up and stopped complaining about literally everything. So maybe this is actually going to work. How cool would that be? Well, we got a 404, but that's better than what we had before. Where did we get that? Not found status 404 message. We probably mangled our bloody... Oh, yeah, we mangled it down here. Oh, and I forgot to... yeah, we mangled it in several ways. I forgot to actually change this to the fetch syntax. Okay, cool. We're going to fetch our URL is going to be our API base URI plus our fetch users display name path. Sorry, Sora. I thought this was going to go so much faster than this. It's good. I thought it was going to go a lot faster. Headers, we can just use the whatever that's called. I should figure out what that's called, where it just automatically picks that up. And I think we're almost there. Nope. We're making HTTP pickles. Moving up in the world. Is it complaining about this? Is it complaining about that? Did I forget to add something in there? We should probably console log this, right? Plus fetch fetch followers path. Yeah, let's just console log that and see what. Does that look right? API twitch.tv helix follows from ID equals blah. Did I forget to pass? No, I passed the headers. I'm passing the headers which contain the client ID. Alright, well, we're actually making HTTP calls. It's giving me a 404, not found. Is that because the endpoint is wrong? It might well be. It might well be. Here's our reference. No, we want our user follows. Is that what we're sending? Oh, users slash follows. God damn! How many times am I going to get this damn API wrong? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Users. I was making 2 requests to Salesforce. The issue was that I actually completely mangled and malformed the request that I was making. And now I think... Da 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 da! We finally got it! Amazing! Amazing. Cool. We console.log that, so we can pull out those little console.logs, and hopefully we're going to see now. Yeah, there we got it. And C# Fritz, thank you for following me. That's awesome. Alright. We're done! Jesus. Jesus. Cool. Right. So that actually works now. We actually get the followers to the user ID back. And you know what? I'm going to make a commit here. Git add dot git commit. What are we going to call this? Oh, I gotta... Alright, first of all, I'm gonna... First of all, I'm gonna go to... Man, it only took us an hour and 45 minutes. And the crowd goes wild. Yeah, so I'm gonna get a proper git ignore for node and for WebStorm. Cool. Copy that into our git ignore file. This is usually the first thing I do. Let's make that a little smaller. What is that? I don't know what that pane is. Cool. Right, so now we've got a decent git ignore file. So we're going to go git add dot, oops, hang on. Let's do a reset head star. Right. And our git ignore. Cool, and then we're going to do a git add, and it should have the stuff. Oh, it really wants to add that .idea folder. Interesting. Why does it want to add those? Did I actually put those in my git ignore? What is that pane that keeps coming up? It's trying to... I don't really like... I mean, I guess I can commit... Yeah. I don't usually I tend to try not to commit anything in the .idea folder, just because I don't. But I guess it would be helpful. All right, whatever. Cool. Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, that's yeah. I just sort of ignore it. It just seems like it's a dot folder. If you wanted it to be a real folder, or if you want it to be a real file, I don't know. You should have. Yeah, I'm gonna add that. That's my instinct. Yeah, I'm gonna add that there. Can you reset head star? What the hell is going on here? Yeah, cool, that's better. Yeah, AnyXX Live. Yeah, look, I don't know. Look, I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess for other people, if other people are going to work on this, it would be good for them if they're using WebStorm, but this is kind of just for me. I don't really see much of a point. Um, yeah, .editor config. Yeah, I have used that before. In fact, I think the front-end developers at work have a .editor config, but yeah, not right now. I mean, and that doesn't cover all this extra stuff that, WebStorm is putting on top of this. Anyway, I'm just going to write in here because I don't like it, and we don't need it, and you shouldn't have to pull this craft if you choose not to use WebStorm. I mean, that's really why, because it's WebStorm specific to my IDE. Yes, it's machine agnostic, but if you pull this down and want to use it, I don't want you to get my weird .idea folder. Alright, now I can actually add our stuff. Git commit. Adds a first cut of the code using async and await. Much wow. That successfully pulls a follower count and the latest followers username from the Twitch API. Cool, that'll do. Alright, now we've got this. Now we want to write it to some files. And we're going to pass these in using process.env as well. So the next stage here is going to be actually writing this out to a file. So const, I'm going to say follower count file name equals process.env dot follower count file name, pretty straightforward, and the const follower last follower file name equals process.env dot last follower file name. Pretty straightforward, right? So again, we're passing these as env parameters because what we're going to do later on is we're going to wrap this in a Docker container, and we want to be able to pass in those parameters from the Docker container's context, from probably a Docker Compose file, and that'll let us configure where these are going to end up, and we're going to be able to configure our mounts in our Docker Compose file. .env to manage environment variables. Thank you, it's a very good idea. I haven't used .env before, but I've definitely heard of it. Actually, is it? I mean, is it going to make that much of a difference? Let me just do a little .env. Loads environment variables from a .env. Oh, right, while I'm developing. Oh, yeah, that's actually really helpful. Oh, that's very helpful. Look, I mean, Xenocron, thank you very much. I'm going to use this in the future. For right now, this is not super important because we only have 4 environment variables, and I can pretty quickly specify them, or I can just comment them out and hard code them if I need to. But yeah, no, absolutely good point, and something that I'll definitely use in the future. Also, let's pull down this little terminal window because I don't need it right now. Cool, so we're going to pull in the last follower file name, and we're going to pull in the follower count file name. Then in here, we're going to, instead of just console.logging the return value, what I'm going to do, yeah, fair enough, Xenocron, totally agree. I'm hopefully not going to nuke this shell, because otherwise I'm going to lose them. Cool, so let's call this something more descriptive than return value. Let's call it follower stats. And then we're going to take out, and so unfortunately we've kind of ended up with what I wanted to try and avoid here, which was, a promise chain, but there's not a lot we can do here because we're at the top level. And then what we want to do is, I guess we probably want to write another function. So const save follower stats to file, and that's going to take an object follower stats, and it's going to do the dirty work of saving those follower stats to file, right? Yeah, good point, Sorab. I'm so in the habit of just running stuff out of the oh yeah, that's a good point as well, requiring a config.json. Yeah, and that's a good point, Sorab. I tend to forget that you can run stuff out of here. I'm just so addicted, not addicted, but so used to running stuff out of a shell that I'm just, yeah. But yeah, you definitely can do that. And then we should be able to, so if that's our syntax, we should just be able to do .then save follow stats file, and then that should be it. And our catch there should catch any errors and log them. Yeah. Yeah. So let me just and we could do some await in here as well, right? Because it's going to be FS operations. Now, Xenocron, you've been incredibly helpful. Is there an async FS library? Or does, oh hang on, does the built-in FS library return promises now? How cool would that be? Right. We don't want to write streams, we want to write files. Where are you? Write file. Does it return a promise? No. But you can permissify the built-in. Yeah, okay, cool. That's what I was kind of expecting. Alright, cool, let's do that here. So we're gonna have to pull in util again. Require util. And then we're going to do const fs, fs equals require fs, and then I'm going to create my own async write file equals util.permissify fs.write file. That should do it. Cool. And so in theory in here we should be able to go const. We don't even need to. What was it complaining about there? Expecting new line of semicolon. Did I bugger something up? No, looks good to me. It's just that IntelliSense just totally crapping out. Totally crazy. Salesforce, Mr. Salesforce. Yeah, file usage. Yeah, it's a tricky thing. I mean, you're using Salesforce. All that stuff is managed for you, presumably. Presumably, there's some nice GUI that you can change, or you can use your environment. You can specify your environment variables and how they differ between different environments. I would presume. Please chime in and let me know. But that was sort of my understanding when I've touched Salesforce before. Not touched, but had stuff to do with Salesforce. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do here is pretty straightforward. We're just going to write our file, replacing the file if it already exists. Sweet, that's exactly what we want. And we're going to go async write file. Well, let's pull out our... Oh, can we destructure? Oh man, how cool is that? Can we destructure? How does that even work? Slade Darth. I also actually know dear Salesforce __ C in real life, so I know he is in fact a Salesforce developer. But yeah, I don't want to discriminate. I'm not in the business of discriminating. Now, I think this is going to work. Destructuring assignment? Is that how we do that? Damn, that's cool. Man, bloody ES 2017. Gotta love it. So, what we want to write to the file is we want to write to the file total followers. That's the first parameter. And then the second parameter is, oh no, sorry, the file name is the first parameter. So we want to write to the file our total, what did we call it up here? Follow account file name. Is that a good name? We should, if we were being good citizens, we should probably pass this in as a parameter, but I think we'll be fine. Yeah, I think that'll do it. Last follower file name, last follower display name. I think that'll do it. I could be wrong, and I think IntelliSense is just crap in the bed here, because I'm pretty sure we do need a semicolon there. Like, I think if I fiddle with this, it'll... So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll do it. Yeah, so let's export those variables we defined up here. Follower count file name equals, let's just do it, follower count.txt, export last follower file name equals last follower.txt, and then an error. But we were close. Unexpected token. Oh, because that should be async, not await. Async. There we go. And then it lights up. Yeah, man. When you can't trust your own IntelliSense, God, that's no good at all. And it worked. And, oh, there's a nasty symbol at the end of that, but that's okay. Is that an end of line symbol? I assume it is. Does anybody know? End of file symbol or something that it's printing because I haven't put a new line in there? Should I append a new line to the end? I don't know. You know what? I can test this right now because I can just see what OBS is going to do with this data. In fact, I can give you a little peek behind the curtain, if you will, of what my OBS setup looks like. I don't think there's anything sensitive in here. So you can see that I've got a little view of, and this is going to do that cool thing where it loops over. I've got a little view in the middle of what my screen looks like. Okay, that's fine, thanks Sorab. And so, what I can do is add in here, add in a text source. And I'm going to call it last follower. Now this probably isn't going to be the final thing, but it's gonna, yeah. And then the text file, and it's not there, it's in here, code. Where's the folder? Twitch data, last follower, cool. Hey, it works. And if I were inclined, I would set the color and I would put in the right thing. But yeah, that's what it's going to look like. And in theory, we're going to get this to poll every however many. Oh, Night Salesforce, take care. I don't know how close to the end we are. I don't know if we're going to get done tonight. We still got to wrap this in a Docker container and get a cron job going. But hopefully that'll be pretty smooth. Thank you for watching. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cool. Okay, so this now works. So we can remove that because I'm gonna do a proper job of that later on with proper coloring and whatever. And okay, now you've seen what my OBS setup looks like. I'm gonna pull that back down and then put it back in its little spot, which is down here. And there we go. Cool. All right, back to normal. Back to your regularly scheduled viewing. Cool. I'm just gonna make a normal little drink. Alright, cool. So now we've got that. Let me commit that. Let me just remove those files. Let me drag this up so you can see what I'm writing. Add writing of folder stats to file. This adds a function which accepts our folder stats that we fetched from the API and writes them to a file or async Yay. Cool. Cool. So now that's done. The final thing to do here is to cook up a Docker file. What fun. So let's get going. Docker file. Alright, now comes a question of what we're going to use. Now, I think we should use this node Alpine. Alpine Docker Hub. Is that the most lightweight? Because I really don't want this to be using really any, you know, many system resources at all, if at all possible. Because, yeah, very, very small. Okay, so we want to do from node Alpine. And what can we... Ooh, do we even want node... Oh, no. Node Alpine is good because we do want cron. I wonder if it'll have cron. I really do hope it'll have cron. Now, Sorab, the Docker guru, is probably going to scold me here for not using correct... Where is that little... Let's get up that Docker file best practices so I can actually write it properly. Practices. Cool. Best practices writing Docker files. Do we even need... Container should be ephemeral, build context, use a Docker ignore, use multi-stage builds, avoid installing unnecessary packages, minimize the layers, build cache. Also, we set labels. We can probably omit those given that we're not in a particularly high risk environment. Alright, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to use node Alpine. Yeah, that's what we want. Yeah, cool. So we're going to pull from node Alpine. So from node Alpine, and we want 9.10. Oh, sorry, from node 9.10.1-alpine. Cool. So that's our container. Or actually, do we want to do this Docker compose? Are we actually going to need any customizations in our Docker file? I don't think we are. Does Alpine contain cron? That's the only thing. I don't reckon it does. Does Alpine Linux contain cron? Because we are going to need a cron job in order to... Yeah, I'm gonna have it wild stab and say that it doesn't. My cron jobs don't run. Is that because it doesn't? Oh no. Okay. Interesting. Cool. So does that mean we need to run the start service cron D in order to run level? I'm gonna look this up. Docker container cron Alpine. There we go. Somebody's had this before. Cool. Hosts cron to Docker exec the script. No, because I want to kind of run this in a standalone container. I'm thinking. Interesting. Alright, look, let's actually nix this Docker file. And actually, let's use Docker Compose instead. I think Docker Compose. I think Docker Compose is going to be a little more handy. Yep, yep, Docker Compose it is. Alright. Compose.yml. Cool. Right. So we need a version 3. And we're going to go services. Does it? What if we just use, sorry, what if we just use a default image? Like, what if we just go am I crazy? You know far more about Docker than I do. I swear I've just used it before. I've just gone image is like node 9.10.1-alpine. Lurus 1, no, I cannot code WordPress. I mean, could I code WordPress if I tried? Probably. Have I done any WordPress before? No, I haven't. I don't tend to use WordPress a whole lot. We use, I've done a lot of Sitecore, which is a similar, far more proprietary content management system. It's used by lots of big clients and lots of big people around the world. I haven't done much WordPress. We don't do any WordPress at work. We do Sitecore, we do AEM, Adobe Experience Manager, and we do Drupal, which is open source. Similar, so Drupal's probably the closest there to WordPress, but I haven't really touched it much. Thank you so much for watching. Again, thank you everybody. Okay, so we do actually need the Docker file, according to Sorab. As I said, he is a Docker guru. I believe he used to be a Docker trainer, if I remember correctly. So he definitely knows what he's talking about. All right, so we still need a Docker file. So let's cook up a Docker file. Docker file, and look, we may, in fact, this probably makes a great deal of sense because we probably are going to need to make customizations here. So from node 10, or what are we, 9.10.1-alpine, we use alpine. It wants to execute stuff for me. That's bloody cool, man. Good old WebStorm. Another shout out to WebStorm. They make some just excellent, or rather, JetBrains make just excellent IDEs. Cool. What do we need from what else do I need on here? What else do I need in this Docker file? Don't know. Sorab knows. I've definitely written Docker files before, but they're definitely an exercise in trial and error more often than not sometimes. So we got a services declaration there. And we're going to call our service Twitch follower updater. Why not? And we need a build dot. Oops, no, just dot. I don't want that autocomplete. Ports. We probably need to bind 443 to 443. Think maybe that I'm not sure of. Do we only need the ports if we're actually exposing things? It's just going to automatically. No, look, we probably do need 443. Otherwise, it's probably not going to get to the outside world. That's my thinking. We're definitely going to need some volumes. Let's define those in a minute. We're definitely going to need some volumes, right? Because the volumes that we're going to mount are going to be, well, we're going to mount some sort of volume somewhere, which is going to contain, which is going to be where our output from this is going to be, and that's also going to map to our it's going to map to our environment variables, right? So what's going to happen is we're going to, where's our Docker Compose? Yeah, here we go. Volumes, or even, do we want to mount? Let's see. The short syntax only specifies the config name. to the config of the mounts. No, we want mounts. Mounts. Let's look up this documentation. I hope this isn't too... Oh no, it's just volumes. Yeah, I've just forgotten how to do it. We want the volume shorthand syntax, which is this one, which basically says, take this folder and... is it the source and the target? Yeah, so take this volume and mount it here. Oh. Nice. There you go. That's, like I said, Sorab is an absolute Docker guru. So that's the best practice. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to do copy package.json. What's the copy? This is again revealing my absolute lack of knowledge of stuff like add or copy. Cool. We copy right to a particular folder. Cool. What's the work dir? Yep, cool. So what we want to do is we want to set our working directory. We're going to set it to /app. I think that's pretty standard if I'm not mistaken. I think we need to put that probably inside quotes. Yep. Do we? I think so. Just follow this. Oh, thanks, Sorab. The best. Dockerizing and yeah, Node have done it for you. Amazing. Cool. User source app. Yeah, alright, cool. Well, let's follow the suggested. Cool. We don't need to put it in quotes. That's good to know. Interesting, right? So we copy. I'm sure. Okay, you just googled it, but I've definitely seen that before. Yes, thank you very much. I will copy to no, I just blocked that. What is going on here? Yep, thank you, Xenocron. Absolutely agree. We're going to have to copy the package JSON as well. Sorry, the yarn lock as well. Copy yarn.lock into /. Cool, and then we're going to do a run. And what's the syntax of the run command? Run npm install. I wonder, does this come with yarn? Does Node Alpine come with yarn? Probably not. It's an extra. Yeah. Herein lies the problem with using yarn. Should we pull in yarn? Any thoughts, guys, on whether we should pull in yarn as a dependent? Presumably we can do a apt-get. Oh, it does at one point. I don't know if it still does. I guess we could probably figure it out if we did a. Yeah. All right. Let's just throw caution to the wind and try. Run yarn install, and then what do we do? So it wants us to bundle the app source. And we want to expose port 8080. In our case, I don't think we need to expose anything because we're not actually receiving any requests. Cool. Should we? Oh, and we should have probably a docker ignore file here, right? Docker ignore that says ignore node modules because we don't want them. Cool. Yeah, that should do. That should do quite nicely. And we're going to copy dot and then we should probably come up with a start command. Right, so we're going to run npm start at startup, and I'm going to adjust my ignore.git to thank you sorab.git. There we go. And in my package JSON, now where do we add them here? What are they called? Are they called commands? What are they called? Scripts. There we go. They've always got funny names for things. Scripts. Oops, don't bookmark that. Scripts. how npm handles the scripts field. It's just like this, isn't it? Right? It's pretty straightforward. Scripts. It does come with yarn. Awesome. Thanks, Xenocron. Our scripts, you said it for me. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, apparently not. Strange. And our start command should be should be npm run, or just node index.json, index.json. Oh, sorry, index.js. I think we can test. Nope. Not command not found. Right. So we want to actually node index.js. Seems to work. Yep. Ooh, what was that? I don't know what that was. Cool. Alright, so npm start, so that should actually execute our script. We're going to have to wire that up to a cron job at some point, but we probably just want to make sure that this actually works to begin with. Cool. Okay, so there's our Docker file, and we now want to do our Docker compose. Do we need to expose that port? I don't think we do. So our build is just dot. Where's our compose file definition? And we want to define some volumes. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to define a volumes. What's the bloody, it's a tab, it's an indent. So the volume we want to define is we want to define and we're going to have to define our env data as well, right? Where is our env? We can define an env file. Huh. There you go. How cool is that? Yeah, that's very cool. Alright, so we want to define some volumes. And where's the short syntax? And the short syntax is host location, container location. Cool. So we're going to define our volumes as the host location is going to be, do we need to put quotes around it? No, we don't. Host location is going to be slash, we can put it wherever we want, I guess, but like, what do we call it? I mean, naming is the hardest bloody part of coding. Let's put it at slash output, and our here location is going to be, ooh, now can that be an M variable? I guess it doesn't really matter. I'll bind it there and I'll create a folder in here called output just for testing. Eventually we're just going to put this somewhere else. We're going to put this in a particular directory that I'm using sort of for Twitch related stuff, and that's where it'll go. But for the moment, I think that will do. And the other thing I wanted to set is I wanted to do, yes, env file. Yeah, didn't realize that was there. How new is that? I hope it's not super bleeding edge and I won't be able to use it with the version of Docker I have installed. Then again, I am running an up-to-date system, so fingers crossed. And so here we're going to define an env file. Yeah, it knows. It knows. Let's just call it .env. And let's put our values in there. So new file .env. It's a text file. And here's our values that we got before. Oh, you're editing a file which is ignored. Oh yeah, that's okay. We want to ignore that file. That's good. Cool. So our user ID is going to be that, which, as I said before, is actually my user ID because that's what we're trying to find. And our client ID is going to be this, which again is my API client ID. And I'm curious, you guys who are out there, can you hear my keyboard clicking and clacking? Just curious about that. And then, well, I mean, we're basically copying this, so why don't I just copy it? Paste, done, cool. Okay, that should do. Volume syntax is host first. Oh, host first. Okay, my bad. Thank you, Mr. Sorab. Host first. So I want dot output, right? And then container is it slash output. Cool. Or in fact dot slash output. Cool beans. All right. Hey Sonic Patty, thanks for tuning in. You can hear that mechanical keyboard. Okay, I hope it's not too loud. Is it deafeningly loud, or is it just regular loud? You can just hear the clacking a little bit. I mean, it's unavoidable. Look, if it's too loud, I gotta say I can't say I care too much because I love this keyboard so much, and I can't wait till I have a little webcam right down here so I can show you what it looks like because it's awesome. Yeah, okay, so we've got our end file there. Do we need anything else? I don't think we do. I don't think we do. I'm going to give it a whirl. Docker compose up. Mapping values not allowed here. Docker compose YML line 2 column. Oh, okay. It probably doesn't like that. What's the convention here? Sorab, is it camel case? Is it underscore delimited? What? Oh, it still doesn't like it. What have I done wrong? Compose. Where's the compose reference? As a sample one. Version 3, services, web app. There's just not like any special characters in there. Let's just call this Twitch. Is that gonna solve it? Oh, that's why. Cool. Gotta love those obscure error messages. So mapping values are not allowed here. Who the hell knows what that means? Cool. Right, so now we're building our Docker container. It's pulling down node Alpine 9.10.1. What's the time? Oh, it's 11:30. Version needs colon. Yeah, thanks, we got it. Thanks, Sorab. Failed to build OCR runtime create, consistent container process, container running pre-start hook, no such file or directory. What's it complaining about there? Docker's running. What's the Docker? Docker info, Docker inspect, Docker ls. Is Docker running? Yeah, I think so. Containers. Why are the 69? Oh, they're mostly stopped. Alright, cool. Version, it doesn't like yarn. Oh, you reckon it doesn't like yarn? Alright. We're just gonna have to do a regular old npm install then, which means I should probably just ditch npm entirely. Because at this point, yeah. Oh no, it doesn't like npm install either. Huh. Fork exec user bin dockerd deleted. No such file directory / unknown. Interesting. Any ideas? Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? I mean, that's directly out of the... Yeah, indeed, Sorab. I mean, that's straight out of this. Yeah, I wonder why it doesn't like that. So it's not. So we can, in theory, change that back to yarn, right? Service Twitch file update failed to build. OCI runtime create failed. Does it need permissions? I'm gonna do something very bad. It'll tell us instantly. Okay, no, it's not that. If in doubt, sudo. Didn't work in this case, but sometimes. Wonder why it doesn't like that. Run yarn install. Well, you know, if in doubt, Google. Let's just Google this and see what we get back. Welcome to Scoos Live Troubleshooting. So you're getting live coding. In fact, you got live troubleshooting. What does it say here? This looks like exactly what we're doing, or similar error. What's the resolution here? Any solutions? I mean, yeah, pretty much Slayer Darth. Just sudo, just sudo until it works. Yeah, interesting. Oh, hang on, this is our exact issue. So it's when running Docker Compose. And what's their Docker file look like? Yeah, kind of similar. It's running a gem install. Need to run Docker Compose as sudo. Well, well, I tried that and it did not work. What's your Docker version? Yeah, good question. Very, very good question. 1803. That seems like, if I'm reading that correctly, March 2018. So the latest. Arch Linux is in fact a rolling release distro, so you're usually pretty close to the bleeding edge, if not on the bleeding edge, which, you know, has its benefits and weaknesses. Let's see. Gotta make the Docker entry point sh executable. I mean, it has been a little while since I've run Docker Compose, and I have definitely done lots of updates in between. Do I need to restart the Docker daemon? Always worth a try. Control restart Docker D. So just Docker, yeah. Yeah, exactly, Slayer Darth, but then shit just breaks and you don't really know why, so you know, okay. Docker Guru sudo docker build-t what's our image name? Oh, sorry, giving an image name. Twitch test dot yeah, it's working. Interesting. And yeah, they're very, very bad ideas as production servers, Slayer Darth. 100%. Okay, well that worked. So, I mean, we've built the container. I mean, it's gonna run now, in theory. Oh, it's working now. Yeah, maybe that... Ah, fuck. Now we don't know whether it was... well, I mean, you would have to say that it was almost certainly the fact that we restarted the service and not the fact that we just randomly built the image beforehand. Now, did it actually do what I told it to do? Which was to output into this folder? I don't think it did. It exited with code 0, but where the hell did it actually put the... did it output anything? No, it didn't. Where did our files go? Did I not pass things to .env correctly? Oh, do you know what? I probably didn't. Oh yeah, no, I definitely didn't pass things to .env correctly. Yep. So Docker. So Soab suggesting I delete the image. Docker RMI, and what did I call it? I think I called it Twitch. Let's back up here. Twitch test. Twitch It was in an error message here. What did I call it? Where is it? There it is, Twitch test. Yep. Twitch test. Cool. And do docker compose up. So it's going to have to rebuild the container. Oh no, it hasn't rebuilt the container. It hasn't deleted the image. Also, I know what is wrong with this, by the way. This has to be /output/follow counter text and /output last follower. Cool. And I think if I do a docker compose build, is that how it works? Yeah, there we go. It's doing a rebuild. It didn't have to. Yeah, whatever. It's getting late. We're pretty much almost there, I think. In theory, if this actually works, we should actually be really close. Oh. There are our files. There's 5. C# Fritz. Also, that's, I mean, well, I don't, that seems like it could actually be incorrect, given that my dashboard now says 7 followers, but look, I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a daemon restart, Sorab, yeah, I think so. Well, look, yeah, anyway, however many followers I've got. I'm getting something, and that's the important part. Okay, so now the last bit, and how good would it be if I could just get this done before midnight? 3-hour stream, nice little bookends. Actually finished the project for bloody once. But look, let's add what we've got now. And let's, did I ignore that output folder? I think I don't think I did, actually. Oops, no. Git ignore. Let's git ignore our and I need to actually add the entry. Cool. Git ignore. So this adds so yeah, sorry, I just realized that I wasn't talking at all. Part of the stream is talking, right? So I gotta talk. So adding Dockerfile, Docker-ignore, and Docker compose that let us start up, that let us build and start the Docker container, followed best practices as outlined by the Node.js Docker pages. Oh, sorry, what's that, Slaydarth? Git extras package in Pacman gives you git ignore command that lets you pass file names. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'll have to have a look at that. That sounds really handy. Awesome. So we followed best practices outlined in Node.js Docker help pages. Added a script to package JSON to start up our application, or to run our application. Cool, that'll do. Alright, cool. So now, I think the final thing we need to do is we just need to get cron working. And we need to get the container actually persisting. Like, so we don't want it to just run once and finish. We want it to actually, when we start it, to just run basically forever. So docker compose cron. Let's see what its thoughts are. Oh, there's a little package. Oh, no, this is actually doing cron on the host. We want to do cron inside the system. There we go for the lazy ones. That's me. That's me right now, at least. I wonder, or is the... Is best practice here, now Sorab again, if you're still online, so you probably know what the best practice is here. Is best practice here to run cron inside Skyworks of ThoughtWorks, that's cool. Run cron inside the same container, or should I have a crontainer? And I've seen that around our code base. Should I have a crontainer that's actually just calling, that's executing the other container periodically? Yeah. That seems interesting. Seems very interesting. Yeah, right. So we want a cron process. Oh, there's a node cron package. Man, they just thought of everything. That's what we want. How easy. Yeah, agreed. Keep it to a single process. That totally makes sense. And so is this going to actually... My only question... Yeah, totally agree, Sorab. So is this going to... Interesting. So I can just let it run forever. Right? Yeah, it's not gonna like kill the container when it's finished. It's just gonna keep running. Run interval. Okay. I'm learning a lot this evening. Gotta say, I really appreciate it, guys. Run interval. What's run interval? That's an npm package. Oh, even better. Set interval. It seems like there actually is something called run interval. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, that works too. Yeah, crap, why not? I mean, that's like a gajillion times easier than what I was going to do. So I can just do set interval. This. Right? And then, comma, every 2000. Now, how often do I want to do it? Now, this is where we go back to our API reference and we look at rate limiting. If I can bloody find where it is. Requests, rate limits. Each client ID is granted a total of 30 requests per minute, or 120 if a bearer token is provided. Since we don't have a bearer token, we're just going to do it at 30 requests per minute. Cool. So that means that if I really want to push it, I can do it because I'm making 2 requests. I could do it, well, I'm only going to get 15 of my little thingos every minute, so I can do it every 4 seconds. But I think doing it every 15 seconds is probably absolutely plenty. So I can put in here 15. Actually, let's put that as an M variable. Yeah, spot on, Sorab. Const poll interval ms equals process.m dot poll interval ms. Done. Cool. Now my only question here, and I guess we can see directly how this is going to work, but something broke. Oh, it doesn't like that. No, it doesn't like that at all. Cannot read property 0 of undefined. Huh. Yeah, it definitely did not like that. Oh, right, because I didn't probably define poll interval as an end variable. Alright, so... And let's actually put something in here to actually say that then console.log updated follower stats, just so we can track that it's actually working. It's actually doing it every so often, every 15 seconds, I guess. I've got to actually send my end variable, and do we not want that? No, we don't. I think we do. I don't know what that's complaining about. It seemed to be fine with it. Export poll interval ms equals 15,000. Cool. Oh yeah, that's yeah, very good point, Sorab. It doesn't like that. Why doesn't it like that? What have I done? Oh yeah, I probably need a closing bracket there. That's right. Yeah, agreed. We probably don't want to set these because if we don't have them, it's going to crap out. But something like here, yeah, agreed. Very good idea. Very good idea, guys. Follower count file follower count dot text. Let's just do that. In terms of the user ID and the client ID, we probably don't. And I guess I could set them to my own, but we kind of need those, so I'm going to leave them unset, and I'm going to see if this actually works. Does it actually poll every so often? Every 15 seconds? Oh. Yeah, good call. Good call. Thank you. It's missing that there. Yeah, we need to wrap that in a function. Cool. Do our proper white spacing. Yeah, there we go. All right, cool. Let's see if this works. I mean, I assume it does. The fact that the process hasn't actually returned yet means that in fact it is working. But let's just wait our little 15 seconds. Thanks, guys. This has actually been incredibly fun and incredibly useful, and I've learned a hell of a lot. And I really appreciate you, frankly, bailing me out of a bunch of predicaments. Especially you, Xenocron. Getting me to use that fetch thing was really handy. Yeah, it really worked very well. And I said, cool, this looks like it's working. Sick. And so now, the only last thing to do will be to... let's actually run this in our Docker container and make sure it works. I mean, but we know it will, so we're all good. But like if we go Docker compose and let's build, because our source files have changed. I think if I just did a Docker compose up, it'll do that because I think it's smart enough, but we're doing that. Thanks, Sorab. Good to know, in a masochistic sort of way. Yeah, I mean, you know, I do wonder, like, you know, ostensibly part of the idea behind this stream is to kind of just get me writing more code. I mean, I've written this from end to end tonight, which is, I probably would have given up, frankly, far before this if I didn't have a whole bunch of people watching me. But yeah, I do wonder if it's going to be faster or slower to do it this way. I suspect strongly it's going to be slower. But, you know, maybe not. I mean, I guess arguably you can say that it's faster in that I actually... decided to finish off this little piece of work as opposed to like leaving it until tomorrow. So it's taken me an evening instead of potentially many evenings. But it definitely, yeah, there's definitely trade-offs. But yeah, and look, how good is that, guys? One dependency. One. And if we could have gotten things working with the native requests library, which you probably could have, it would have been even less. So yeah, I'm pretty damn happy with that. Project basically done. All I really need to do after this is, and I'll do this, and I'll probably do this tomorrow at some point or whenever I get a chance, maybe even after I shut down the stream tonight, is, yeah, just change those M variables to point to somewhere else. So they probably shouldn't point to, oh no, sorry, actually those are going to stay the same. What's going to change is just in my Docker Compose file where this output folder is actually mounted to. I'm just going to put that in a subfolder, right? Or that one, right? The host version in a subfolder, and it'll go there. And my files will go there, and then I can source them and pull them into OBS. So I might call it there, guys. That's almost midnight. 8 minutes off. I want to say an enormous thank you to everybody who watched and everybody who commented. Thank you so much. I know there's plenty of friends and family and colleagues and lovely people out there. And to everybody who doesn't know me and is just watching this out of the goodness of their own heart because it's entertaining, thank you so much. Xenocron, Slayer Darth, big fans of yours. For A, for helping me out, and B, for watching the stream, because thank you, that's the whole point. I'm doing this so somebody gets something out of it. I'm definitely getting a lot out of it. I hope you guys are too. Sorab, you're the best. You already know that, but you are. Thank you so much. I'll catch you tomorrow. And yeah, thanks very much, guys. I think I'm going to call it there. I'm going to shut down this this little container. Always help a fellow arch user. Spot on, Xenocron, best distro out there. Appreciate the hell out of it. Let me get a quick little spiel. This is my first proper stream where I'm actually writing code. I'm hoping to do a lot more often. I don't know what my timeline's going to be like. Obviously, you know, I'm not necessarily a busy man. Thank you, Mr. Luris. I really appreciate you watching. Really appreciate it. So yeah, first proper stream with content. I did a little bit of a stream last night just to kind of warm up and figure my way around things and see how things worked. But I'm hoping to do this on the regular. I think weeknights, it's probably going to be sort of around this time, 9 p.m. to midnight-ish. Possibly a little earlier. I should probably start 8 p.m. and go to 11 p.m. if I want to be kind of fresh as a daisy for work. And the plan is that on weekends I'm going to stream in the morning, early morning. I hate getting up early morning just as much as you all probably do, but I'm trying to get that sort of like 9 a.m. to midday, which is going to be kind of late to early evening US time, to try and capture some of the US viewership because there's all the population there. So that's kind of the plan, but I'm definitely going to keep doing these weeknight things because I think they work well for all the locals, my friends here in Australia. But yeah, thank you so much for joining the stream. I'm going to call it there for tonight. I think we made something pretty cool. Oh, you know what? I'll write up one final commit message. Git add. Oop. Did I not ignore those? I stuffed something up. Anyway. What did we do? We add default end values and add polling. This adds a call to set interval, which periodically executes our function to fetch Twitch followers every so often. Period of this set interval is determined by an end variable. Awesome. I'm going to call that done, guys. Get push. Oh, I just push to master. Force push to master. The true cowboy way. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you tune in next time, which may not be for a few days, may not be until next week sometime. I might do a stream sometime on the possibly on Saturday afternoon. That's a possibility. But if you tune in next time, hopefully you're going to see a nice little last follower and follower number count on the bottom of the screen, somewhere down around below here on that green bar. I'm going to get webcam, guys. I said that at the beginning. I'm going to get a webcam, selfie cam, classic Twitch selfie cam over here in the bottom right at some point. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really, really, really can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for the help. Thanks for teaching me a whole hell of a lot. And I'll see you all very, very soon. Thanks.